friend of mine from Los Angeles sent me this track. Yo, can you please record some guitar on top of this? It's just the outro, I just need a guitar solo. Let me run through my signal chain. First things first is we gotta have a tuner. I have an EQ, just in case I want to EQ my guitar signal in. Then, the big boy. Here we got some Helix native action. And this is my recording setup. I already have a compressor set up just the way I like it for cleans. A whole bunch of different dirt pedals. Then I have a clean amp and a dirty amp. And this one will kind of depend on the song itself. Sometimes the song might need something clean. Sometimes it might need like some good, chunky rhythm. This one is just purely personal preference. So just do what you can with it, do what you need to with it. And then moving down the signal chain, I got my delay, which is set up to do quarter note and eighth note. Here in the scale is how you change it. And then I got my reverb, and they're set in parallel because I don't know, I just kind of like the sound of it. After the amp head, I'm going into a CLA 76 1176 style compressor. I just want that kind of mushy tube amp feel. I'm using Mix-IR for my cabinet. For me, I learned this one from Shawn is that a good cabinet miking combination is going to be SM57, a Royer 121.
And you can see the mics that I'm using are my tried and true Royer 121 and Shure SM57. I've been using that combination for years and I don't plan on changing.
I love Shawn's tone. Like, the tones that he gets is incredible. I just wanted to have a little bit of that magic. So I kind of mixed those two taste over here. I have a rear mic and a room mic set up. Lastly is a little bit of EQ. Make sure to cut out your low end because you don't need that much mud or rumble. If you're using any kind of digital modeling, make sure you cut out 5K because that's kind of a signal where you hear a lot of fakeness in your sound. Let's give the track a listen. Alright, really dope stuff from my good friend Mr. Jarvis Jeb Barnes. Make sure you follow him on Instagram and whatever social media you can find of him. He's a really dope drummer and arranger. You can definitely check him out. To start, I kind of take note of certain things. For example, there's lines. Here's the first line. And then there's another line a little bit further down. There's two actually. So you have those two lines, and he only asked for a solo, but because he's my boy, I'm gonna give him some rhythm guitar. So what that sounds like. And I'm using a Placator Dirty, which is kind of modeled after the BE100 by Friedman. I'm gonna record some of the rhythm part because it's already written out. I don't have to do any guesswork, I just kind of need to listen and then record. So here we go. Alright, so now I'm done with the rhythm guitar. We're gonna freeze these tracks so that they don't take up my CPU power, and we are gonna move on to recording the guitar solo. So the way how I record guitar solos typically is that I'm just gonna kind of jam around on the track itself, see what ideas come up to me, make sure that everything is properly phrased, following the storytelling curve of my solo. Once certain ideas start popping up, that's when I'm going to start solidifying certain ideas and re-record everything once all of my ideas are solidified. All right, here we go. We're gonna loop this and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully something good will happen. Make sure you hit record while you're doing this because you never know when a good idea is gonna come to you and then you won't remember it. So here we go. So a little primer on soloing for big pop music kind of like this is to make sure that whenever you're soloing, if somebody were to say, hey, I want you to record a solo, you're soloing according to the style of the track, because as much as I can do all the shreddy, extreme jazz, reharm stuff, this track doesn't really call for it. What this track kind of calls for is more screaming, bendy notes. I kind of separate it into 4 phrases. Typically, this is going to be an 8-bar kind of solo. 8 bars divides nicely into 4 separate phrases. Phrase 1, you're kind of gonna copy the melody. Second phrase, you are going to embellish the melody. Third phrase, which is kind of the climax of the solo, that's when, all right, the plane's taking off, and from the 3rd to the 4th section, that's where the plane is taking off and it's not going to come back down until the song ends. So you got to make sure you have a big ass ending, and you just kind of got to keep going. So the first step is we got to record the phrase that has the melody in it, and let's do that right now. You know, at some point you kind of just run out of ideas. You just kind of gotta, keep going and push through, and yeah. And here is the final product. So we are gonna give this a listen, and afterwards I'm gonna show you how I kind of package my tracks to send to other people. So here we go, let's have a listen. Awesome. So something which I've done, after comping everything and comping the best parts of every single take, I make sure to separate my dry signal, which only has this part. And I added a bus, which has all of the wet effects. So what this enables is whoever I'm sending it to, be it a client or someone who's going to be mixing it, they are going to have complete control over the wet effects that I added and the dry effects. Maybe they don't like the delay that I put on, or maybe they don't like the reverb. That's completely fine, that's up to them. This just gives them an idea of what I wanted, but it also gives them the ability to take it away if possible. So next we're gonna export our stems, and we're gonna export everything. So what this is the main out, there's the backing track, there's the dry guitar, the 2 rhythm guitars, and the wet effects. The reason why I have the main to be exported is to give a final product of what I envisioned it to sound like, or just so whoever I'm sending it to knows where certain things are placed. It's 24-bit folder. For me, just to make it easy, I'm going to put it on the desktop, make a new folder, select that folder, hit OK, and now we wait. And here we have our stems in our folder. So next, go back to the main folder, compress it to a zip. This is what you send him. So there are a number of ways you could potentially send this. My preferred method is by using either WeTransfer for larger files or for Google Drive. So once you drag it into where you want in your Google Drive, here's the very, very important part. When you right click, you hit share, and then you click on get shareable link. And then this little part, anyone with the link can view. Make sure you put it to anyone with the link can edit. This link that is automatically copied, that is what you send to people. The reason for this being, if you were to just put somebody's email here, if they wanted to access it, you're gonna get another email saying, hey, this person wants to access the file, do you wanna grant access? And that person still has to wait on you to say yes. So what this does is it enables them to access the file whenever, because you already sent the link. They should be able to access this file whenever and wherever. The second method that a lot of people actually end up using too is by using WeTransfer.com. So what you do is that you add your files, or you select your folder, you set your email, and then you click on transfer. So there you go, that's how I go about a recording. That's also how I go about sending files to clients or whoever may need it. Biggest takeaways here are definitely make sure you give them everything that they need, and especially if you're recording guitar, as much as possible, try and give them the dry signal without delay or reverb. This just makes it easier for them in the long run. Alright, I'm Sergio, and I hope that you enjoyed today's vlog tutorial. Alright, see you in the next one.